We are Mike and Jeannie, and we restore old houses. In 2021, we moved to South Carolina and bought a 120-year-old Victorian house. Follow along as we put the polish back on this Victorian masterpiece.
Today's program is sponsored by the generous support of our patrons. Your support helps to further our historic preservation efforts. For more information, visit patreon.com/1834 Restoration House. Welcome back to another episode of 1834 Restoration House, where we restore things.
If you're just joining us for the first time, we bought this 120-year-old Victorian house, and we've been slowly restoring it inside and out. And a couple of weeks ago, we were digging around trying to clear out these planting beds so that we could just plant some flowers. I mean, that's all we really wanted to do. And we hit something hard, and we discovered a brick V-shaped water catchment trough that goes from that corner all the way around the curve and over there, and then it intercepts some drainage. Now, we thought, well, that's pretty cool. It's probably almost as old as the house itself, and we've got to maintain that. So we thought, well, okay, we'll restore it. Well, then we started discovering the remains of a brick planter that had been here. There were just chunks and pieces in the ground. And so, well, we've got to restore that too. So here we are. We've been working on trying to get the foundation straight and square, and that's been challenging because it's our first brick project, and we're learning as we go. But we just about got it under control. We're going to start raising the elevation of the planter to its proper height and get everything all perfect and looking good.
I'm excited about it. I think it's going to look absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get to work.
All right, let's go. In the southern United States, the sunshine in the summertime is so strong that it will just burn you to a crisp. We keep getting kicked out of this brick project because it gets so hot. We have to wait until the shade comes around, and we're not able to work as hard and as fast as we would like. So we went down and we got us one of these canopies.
Watch your fingers.
Why don't you grab the corner?
All right.
And
Can you back it that way more?
Yes.
I'm out of the camera almost.
Okay, pull.
Yeah.
That thing's bigger than I expected.
Yeah.
Well, anyway. So, go ahead and pull on the opposite corner. There we go. Now we should be able to just snap it up.
No.
No?
Not quite there, or not quite strong enough.
All right, so this is great. Now we can set this over our work area, and I can get in there and work. So let's pick it up and walk it over. We came out and we found a problem this morning. The synthetic twine that we had put was tight, and now it's droopy and saggy. And we can't have droopy and saggy, so we're pulling it off and replacing it with a synthetic twine, which will stay nice and tight. Our fun was short-lived. So we're taking a break for lunch, and we hear this big bang outside. And what happened is the wind picked up our Z-shade, threw it against the house, and broke one of the scissor arms here. So now the thing won't stay put. And I reached out to the company. They answered me back, and they said, well, let us know what it is, and then we'll go from there. So at least I think I'm going to be able to get some replacement parts for it. But it's kind of surprising at how flimsy it is. Hopefully we'll have it back soon so we can use it again. Well, it's late evening today. It was so hot. I mean, just ridiculously hot. We really couldn't work. And without the shade, there wasn't much we could do. So we're trying a different approach. So tonight, we're going to work as the sun's going down. And we have a light there, which we can use after dark. And so we're going to take advantage of some of the cooler evening air and see how much bricklaying we can get done.
Ironically, today has been very hot and really blustery wind. The canopy got busted even. And now look, even the flag back here is straight as can be. It's still hot. But there's no breeze. It's crazy.
We had this brilliant idea of working at night. The only problem was there was zero wind, and it hasn't really cooled off. I mean, we don't have the sun blasting us, but there is no relief out here.
It's still well over 80 degrees out here.
It's terrible.
And no breeze.
Yeah. So we were at Home Depot a few days ago, and we saw this enormous fan that's about this big around, and we kind of joked around that we need one of those. And tonight I'm out here laying bricks. I'm just slugging down liquids as fast as I can, trying to stay cool as I'm working here. And I started joking about that fan again, and so she says, well, why don't we get the one from the house? And so she pulled out this little thing here. That thing is a godsend. I mean, it's just a small thing, but having it pointing in my direction when I'm working, oh man.
Yeah, I thought, well, maybe a little fan would help. I said, that's all I've got. He
Anything.
says, anything would help.
Even a 1 mile per hour breeze would be something. But there is absolutely nothing tonight.
No.
So this is kind of unusual. I mean, normally we do our filming in the daytime, and you guys haven't really seen much of our place at night. So it's a totally different vibe here with the porch lights on.
Yeah, it's strange. It's still really hot.
It is hot.
Welcome to the South, huh?
I like it. But you know what? I haven't seen any mosquitoes tonight.
Well,
Have you?
you know what? No, I haven't either. I did put bug spray on, though, so
Yeah,
maybe that's why they're not here.
maybe. I like to think we eradicated them.
Oh, that would be a dream.
Fat chance, right?
Yes.
Yep.
We want to get as much of this done, if not all of it done, well before the intense heat of August and September.
Right. I don't want to be
Those.
laying bricks in the middle of August.
No.
So we're really hustling.
Yeah. It's just way too hot and muggy during that time. It's not, you're not able to do anything with that.
For you guys, weeks elapse, but we're actually working this thing every single day filming, and as soon as we get enough for an episode, we'll throw one together.
Yeah.
So it's not really taking as long as you think it is, but it sure feels like it. Good grief. I think we're on our 4th row here. And in some places we're just barely breaking above ground, but down over there it's starting to look more like a wall. So I think
So we might put 2 more layers on there so it stands up and looks proud to be there instead of kind of hiding.
A couple of days ago we had a windstorm pick this canopy up and hurl it against the house here, and it bent the frame. And this is the member of the frame that got bent. It actually was like this. Now, if you have a piece of metal, where is the weakest point on that piece of metal? It's going to be always where there's a hole or some kind of discontinuity, as they call it in engineering terms. This is called a punch. And I'm just going to put it through the hole, find the center point. It's not super critical because this is just a temporary part. And I'll just give it a couple of whacks. And if you look up close, you can see that it left a dimple. Okay, let's put this back together as best we can. Get it lined up more or less perfectly. And then make another dimple. Okay, I have some backer boards here because I don't want to drill into our porch. And I have a small drill bit in here, and I'm going to drill a little pilot hole using the punch dimple as a guide. All right, next thing I want to do is grab a drill bit and see if it fits the hole. It does, but it's a little loose, which means that any fastener in there would be pretty tight. So let's try the next size up, which would be this one. What is this? It's a 7/32. Well, that one feels pretty good. There's just a little bit of play there, but I'm going to call that one good. So let's give it a try. All right, I'm going to take the fastener and see if it fits. It does. I think the next one's probably going to be about the same size hole. Everything's all stretched and torn, but it does feel correct. Now, this one here is much larger, so I'm going to go ahead and drill it out the same size just to get it opened up a little bit. What can happen is if you go from a really small hole to a very large hole, the bit has a tendency to grab, and it can actually grab the workpiece and fling it around, and that's really dangerous. So we try to step it up and go in a couple of steps if we can. Let me show you a pro tip here real quick. So if you take a drill size that's a couple sizes larger, and you come back here, just kiss it, right? What we're doing is deburring the hole and getting the sharp chips off of it. Just cleaning it up a little bit. Okay, 3/8 is too big, and 5/16, which is the next size down, is missing from the toolbox. No, this isn't the missing one. This one's actually 1/4 inch. So I'll be right back. Let me see if I can find the 5/16. Well, we couldn't find the right bit. It got lost somewhere along the way, so I'm going up one size, even though it's too big. But it'll have to do. I'm just filing the end smooth and removing the burrs. And I'm also just rounding the edges just a little bit. After a morning of stifling Carolina heat, we're getting a nice cold breeze coming through right now, and it feels good. Okay, this piece here was where the brake was, and it's a clip, so I'm going to take that off. Just like that. There's also a nut back here which I need to capture. Got it? Okay, now this thing has to slide over this. And it's too big to slide over that. Oh, it's also cracked. Nice. So what I'll do is, rather than fight with it, I'll just leave it off for now. Okay, so I'll insert the bolt through here, and then through here, and then put the nut on the back side. Okay, so I've got the roll pin and the bar that snaps in like that. Now, I don't know if this is going to work very well because we haven't tested it yet. So let's take it out and try it. The best way to pull these open is to pull on opposite corners.
And watch your fingers.
Watch your fingers, yep. All right, so far so good. What do you think? Oh, what happened there?
This one just came out.
Oh, you know why? Because the retainer is off and we didn't put it back on. So let's...
I'm going to get the retainer.
Yeah, get the retainer, yep. All right, we need to push this back together again.
Okay, I'm going to the other side.
Yep.
I have to pick it all up because those two aren't moving.
It's because we need to have this on here in order for it to work properly.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's push that back in where it belongs. And the retainer, I guess that goes, how does it go on here?
Other way.
Other way?
That way.
There.
There we go.
Let's try that again. Okay, lift and pull. Beautiful, look at that. Is it binding up or is it still working okay?
It's working.
Okay. All right, let's keep going.
All right, hold on.
Are you sure it's not binding up?
No, it's just, it's a different angle. It's not connected right.
Well, yeah, it'll never be as good as the other one. All right, go ahead and take that other corner then.
Okay. Ow.
So far, so good. Keep coming.
Click.
Click.
The other one?
Yeah. It's got quite a bit more wobble here because it's not as sturdy. It's kind of a Rube Goldberg repair, or MacGyver, depending on what generation you're from. Well, in case you're wondering, this is a Z shade which we picked up from Lowe's. It is not the best quality. If you're looking for something that's going to last, I would think twice about it, but we just needed something quick and dirty to get us through this project, so there it is. I just love a fresh batch of mortar. It feels so fluffy and easy to work with. After a while they start stiffening up, and then they're never really quite the same as they were when they were fresh. I'll tell you what, people around here love their V8 engines. They want to make sure that we hear them. We had to take a leave of absence yesterday because a big storm came through. It was actually two big storms. They came up through Georgia and all the way into the Carolinas, and they came over here and it just poured cats and dogs. And if you've ever been in one of those storms, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you never have, You should probably try it sometime. Anyway, so this is as far as we got. Last time we were working, we managed to get, I think that is the 4th row of bricks. And I believe we're going to do one more after that. But it's looking really good. I'm really pleased with the way it's starting to come together. It's really kind of evening out and looking straight. This thing has been a problem for us. The very same day that we bought it, we were inside eating lunch, and this huge gust of wind came along, picked it up, hurled it into the house over here, and broke one of the cross arms. So let's bring the camera over here so you can see it. So here it is, kind of fixed, and we're actually using it. It doesn't work as smoothly as it should because a lot of parts are missing here. But we contacted the manufacturer and ordered the replacement parts. So we'll be getting a new cross arm here. And we also managed to break one of the plastic parts here. So we'll be getting another one of those. And as soon as that comes in, we'll take this thing off and put it back the way it's supposed to be. Well, I think we're on layer number 5 now. And we're well above the soil. It's looking better. And some of the undulations that we've had in the past are starting to smooth out and become more straight. These bricks here, and in fact these bricks here, they're all right on the line where they're supposed to be. And so what I've done is I've set them more or less to the line and just varied the thickness of the mortar as necessary to get it there. And that's something, you know, in hindsight we probably should have done more aggressively way down deep. But I think we put down 3 layers of brick before we ever had any kind of laser leveling options. So it is what it is, and we're going to continue on. And we'll head around the corner now and get that one finished, and then go back and do the 5th one. Funny thing is, after the rainstorm, we had a lot of water down inside the holes. So sometimes when I put the mortar on there, a bunch of water just kind of comes pouring out of it as it displaces it. So we'll just do like we've always done. Grab a bunch, slap the brick in place. There's a bunch of water pouring out of it. That's funny. You might be thinking, aren't you worried about trapping water inside the brick? And the answer is no, because bricks and mortar will both pass water through, and it'll eventually just evaporate out. It might stay there for a few weeks, but it'll be gone. Let's see here. I need to eyeball that string. Let's see if we're leveled up here. Yes, we are. Okay, that's looking great. Pull off the excess. Have to stuff a little back in there after the water pushed it out. Sorry you can't see this, but it's on the back side. One thing about brickwork is that you're going to slop a little bit on the face of the brick. It's inevitable. And as hard as we try not to do that, a little bit's going to get on there. And there are ways of cleaning the brick afterwards, after it's had a couple of days to harden up, and we'll show you that because we're going to have to do it. Let's try this one over here. There goes more water pouring out. All right, where are we? Okay, we're on the string. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that we're level. And I do this with every single brick. I want every brick to be level and straight and plumb. Okay, one more quick check here, just to make sure I didn't knock it off, which I did, so fix that. You notice I'm pulling the excess off of there because I can reuse that as long as it's clean. If it hits the ground and gets dirt and mud on it, no good. It's got to be clean. Another thing too I like to do is, I have a void right here, so I'm going to go ahead and just stuff a little mortar in there just to make sure it's filled up. Do that, off the excess, done. All right, how do you keep a canopy from flying away? There's really two ways to do this. You can either stake it down to the ground, if that's an option, or take yourself a bungee cord and a gallon of water and hang it on the corner. And then do that on the opposite corner as well. If it's a really windy day, you can put one on each corner.
Would you believe it? We are having a torrential rain. It is a gully washer. Look at all this water around. It's just crazy. It's finally cool though. That's really nice. The high heat is gone for now. And then take a look at our trench down here. Look at all that water it's filling up. We're gonna have to definitely get that drainage system working. See all this water that's puddling up everywhere. The water is puddling up so fast. The ground just can't soak it up fast enough. It's incredible. It's just amazing how much water is coming down at one time. Look at that puddle. Wow. And the water coming out of that drain spout. Good gracious. I guess it's going to be a few days before we get back to bricks. This ground's going to have to dry out a bit. Woo-wee, that water's getting deep in that tunnel. Oh, water, you're getting wet. We've had a little lull in the rain, and then it started up again, and we have had torrential downpour, and I'm not sure if more is coming again, but this is just incredible. We've got thunder and lightning too, and look at our drain catchment. It has got a lot of water in there. Wow. I guess we better get that drain system working, huh? If you look over here, you can see the water is only like 4 inches from that vent. It goes all the way out there. There's a whole lot of water. Wow. Just incredible. If you look up above, you can see the gutters are overflowing. Some of it's because of the debris that we've had from the last few storms, which we did not clean out the gutters again quite yet. Although we do have a mesh over the gutters, so the debris doesn't go in the gutters, but it does covery enough that it blocks the water from getting into the gutters. And that's what's happening here. There's another one over here too that you can see. It's just coming off. The corner is covered in a bunch of debris up above.
What a difference a day makes. It's pretty dry now. It's firm, not muddy, still damp, but at least we can get in there and work on it now. So we're going to go ahead and mix up another batch and see if we can push those bricks around the corner to the end. All right, I'm using the forks to distribute the water and the mortar as evenly as I can. With 2 quarts there's no way that this is going to get wet, and we'll end up with a crumbly, kind of a semi-dry, semi-moist mix, but it won't be wet. Jeannie's over there right now grabbing some more water. But see how the dry mix is starting to become a darker color? That means it's taking up some moisture. And that's exactly what we want to see. Okay, so with that extra water there, you should be getting fairly close to the right mix. So I'm just, again, spreading it with the forks, trying to get water into the dry and trying to get dry into the water.
This other side. Very dry back there.
It looks like you need a little more there.
Not back here, up here.
Oops. That's a little more than I intended. After working with this for a few weeks, I'm finding that a fluffy mix is actually just about perfect. When I say fluffy mix, that's how it feels, not how it looks. It just has a certain fluffy character about it. Not too wet, not too dry. Okay, yeah, that feels good.
Except right over there, it's all dry, so.
That's a little bit wet over here in this corner, so I'm going to add some drier stuff to it. Just kind of push it around, mix it up evenly. Make it all good. All right, I just want to show you where we're at here. So we've got 5 courses of brick that we've laid down in the trench, and we've taken those 5 courses of brick all the way over here, all the way around the curve, and ended right up over there. Now, you may look at that and say, well, how come it's all crooked? It's an optical illusion. You see, this right here is level, but this actually slides downhill like that. And that tripped us up for a bit because we thought we were doing something wrong here until we finally measured it. It's correct. What's next? We've decided we're going to stop at 5 courses. And the next thing we do here will be to put a capstone of some sort on top of this, whether it be just plain bricks that have no holes in them, or stones, or some kind of finishing element that we'll just put on there and make it look really good. Once the mortar is completely cured in a couple of days, we'll come back and we'll scrub the dirt off of there, and we'll get some special chemical and we'll remove all the smears that were made by the mortar. A lot of these big pieces here, they fell off the trowel and we couldn't use them because they were contaminated with dirt. That's just part of masonry though. That happens. No big deal. Doesn't that look better with all the debris cleaned out of it?
They can't really tell, but it does. Trust us. It looks a lot better.
It does. Yeah, so I have a question for all of you folks watching at home. So we've got this nice brick planter, and it has holes in the top, so clearly it's not finished. We need to put something on top of here. What do you guys think? Brick with no holes? Stones? Concrete caps? Or something else? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Can you guys hear that?
Can you hear the owl? I think it's an owl.
Huh.
Just started yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, hey guys.
Hi. We decided to come back here in the shade. It's really hot in the sun up there right now.
Yeah.
So let's introduce those new people to our mystery structure.
Yes. If you're just joining the channel for the first time, this is what we call the mystery structure, because we have no idea what it is, what it was used for, or why it's here. But it's been here a long, long time. This house was built 120 years ago. This was probably built around that time or possibly before that. We don't know what was here on the property before they built this house. But all we know is it's been here a long, long time. So we're just kind of cleaning up a little bit, trying to unearth the structure from all the plants and get it cleaned out. Now, we found that there were some plants growing in here, and Jeannie came along and clipped them down. But I'm afraid that those plants may be just rooted down in there really hard. They probably have busted their roots through the concrete or brick or whatever's inside there, and we may never get them out. But I'd like to find out. Why don't you bring the camera over a little closer and let's see if we can get this out. This is a great example of what happens when you don't take care of your landscape. We've got trees, 2 of them that have grown in, maybe 3, I'm not sure. But these trees have grown in and they're pushing against the structure. That's not good. So if we want to preserve this for future generations, these trees are going to have to come out. And so are these. It looks to me like a bunch of leaves fell in here over the years. Years and years of leaf buildup here made a perfect place to grow a tree. And Jeannie came and cut the crowns off of it yesterday. So I'm going to go ahead and pull. Let's see what happens here. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Wow. Well, the good news is it has a solid bottom and doesn't look like the tree roots did any damage. So let's see if I can repeat that success over here. Wow. Well, there's still a lot of dirt, so let's get busy cleaning this out. Oh. Looks like there is a kind of a terraced construction here. I thought this was a lot deeper. Tree roots. They're trying desperately to find anything to root into, and they can't, because they can't penetrate the brickwork. That's funny. And what is this? Looks like a piece of mortar that was put in there to guide water. I'm not really sure exactly, but it's no longer adhered. So I'll take that out. Wow. There's an ant nest. See all the ant larvae right there? The worker ants are grabbing it and they're running for cover. I'm not sure where they're going to go, but we've got work to do here, so let's just keep digging. Ants are a big problem here in the south. And they will build these mounds. Yeah, this is interesting. There's a water pipe here, and then steps down, down, and down. And I just unearthed this. I found a root sticking out, and I went to pull on it, and it's not coming. But look at that. There's a hole right there. So they cast a drain hole into this whole thing. So this is definitely a water feature. For some of you new recruits out there to the 1834 world, you may not have seen this before if you haven't watched all the videos going all the way back. If you haven't, I certainly encourage you to do so, because there's a ton of stuff that we've done over the last couple of years here. Now, this is something that we inherited with the property. We call it the mystery structure. We have no idea what it does, or what it was for, or who built it, or how old it was. It could possibly predate the house. There is stuff around here that goes clear back to the Civil War era. There is stuff here that also goes clear back to the Revolutionary War era. So you just never know what you're dealing with until you get a good look at it. Now, I want to show you a couple things. This brick pillar right here clearly has been here a long time. There's another one right there. There's another one laying in the weeds right over here. And there presumably was one sitting there. It's probably buried under that brick pile right now. Okay, great. 4 corners of a structure. We don't know what it was, but here's a clue. This right here, pardon my tree here, this right here appears to be the foundation of a brick chimney, which would explain why there's a pile of bricks sitting right there. So we're surmising maybe some kind of a cabin was here, outdoor kitchen maybe. We just don't know for sure. And then there's this here, which is made of brick. It's double thick. It might even be triple thick. I'm not sure exactly. But look at this. It has a set of doors, which have long since passed their prime. The thing is literally about to fall out of here, but I think with a little effort, I can open that up. All right. Well, inside here, I can't really open the other door, but inside there's a couple of shelves and a space that's covered in, it looks like mortar. So the bricks were mortared over. Well, we plan on restoring this. In fact, what we probably will do is build a brand new one using the same materials and exactly the same look. Up here in this tower, there are 2 galvanized tubs that are sitting down on iron supports. Again, we don't know what it is, what it was for, or who built it, or how old it is. But it's a very interesting piece of history, which will be preserved and hopefully one day restored. Everybody who's come over here and looked at this thing has noted the hinges and the handle here are very interesting. Now, we don't know if this is historic. We don't know if it's original. It does look like somebody took it and bent it over and made it work here. But it does have a little bit of character to it. This hinge down here is completely gone. I mean, this is all that's left of it here is that little bit. So we won't be reusing these. There's just nothing left there to use. This handle here is kind of decorative. It's got some nice scroll work on it. We could probably clean that up and reuse it. But we'll have to come up with something different for the door hinges. There is so much to clean up out here. We've got blocks, we've got bricks, we've got garbage, we've got scrap wood, we've got trees that need to come down. So we'll try to get those out and get this cleaned up a bit. And you know what that means? Tractor time. Wow. The aroma of the magnolia tree is intoxicating. It just wafts through, permeates everything. Oh, it smells so good. Now look at this thing. Nice big flowers. Isn't that amazing? Here's one that's getting ready to pop. There's a bunch down here at the ground level. We didn't have very many flowers on this tree last year, but this year it's just going crazy. And it's been doing so for weeks now. The blooms don't last very long, maybe a couple of days, and then they drop and another one takes their place. One thing you can do is if you have a fresh bloom, you can clip it, take it inside the house and put it in a bowl of water, and it'll perfume your whole house with the smell of magnolia. Whew. Man, is that good. Although it can be overwhelming, so be careful. Now, take a look up here. Can you see that on camera right there? This is what's left after the flower dies. This is the beginnings of a magnolia seed pod. And so this will get to be about that big, and it'll have these beautiful red seeds in it, and from there you can grow your own great magnolia tree.
Well, Mike went to get the chainsaw. We can cut some of these trees down, and I'm gonna pick up all of this debris here. Oh, he's out. Let me give my headset on. Protect our ears. focus though. Grab the tractor key.
Nope.
Did you leave it in the tractor?
You were the last one to use it.
No, I asked you, yes, but I asked you to get the key out of the tractor before we went in. I don't know where you put it.
Oh, here it is.
You do have. Haha!
There it is.
Sneaky. Wow, you got a lot done.
Yeah, I had no idea there was that much tree there.
I got overheated. I had to go inside for a while.
Yeah, I finished up for her.
Yeah.
I've got this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we're really starting to see what's under here. I mean, do you remember when we first bought this house? This whole section here was just completely overgrown, and you could hardly even see that there was anything in there. So very slowly we've been able to liberate it, get it free, and get it out into the open again. So we still have a good bit of tree here left to go, but we'll have to do that another day.
Oops.
We're kind of running out of daylight here.
Yes, we are.
So we did a lot. We did bricks, more bricks, and finally took a break and did something different. That was a lot of fun.
It was. It's a nice change up.
It is. Plus we got some seat time on the tractor.
Yes.
It's always fun.
Yes.
Yep. I know you John Deere fans love to see a little tractor action from time to time, and we're happy to oblige. So, all right. Well, I think we'll wrap this episode up, and we will see you next week as we continue our exciting journey in restoring the old house here,
Yeah.
the old Victorian.
Well, thank you for watching 1834 Restoration House.